in the country are now calling for the implementation of the National Coroner Service Act of 2017, which they say will help curb the rise in cases. Elizabeth Atieno reports.
After years of agitation by various human rights groups to address the rising cases of unresolved deaths,
will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye.
The National Assembly in 2017 enacted the National Coroner Service Act, providing the framework for investigations of reported unnatural deaths.
The President himself signed into law a new statute called the National Coroner Service Act that was supposed to establish the National Coroner Service. The National Coroner Service is supposed to be the independent investigator of all questionable deaths.
The Act allows and mandates the Coroner General or his officers to make formal inquiries into unexplained deaths and participate in judicial inquests, a responsibility currently upheld by the police, who rely on the service of the government pathologist and government chemist to harvest forensic evidence.
And the police will still have a role, but the role of the police is to secure the crime scene and call in the coroner service to come and do their job. And so there will be clear separation of duty.
Peter Kiama is one of the drafters of the National Coroner Service Act and equals as the Executive Director of the Independent Medical Legal Unit IMLU, which is a non-profitable organization offering psychosocial rehabilitation of survivors of any acts of violence, and now tells us that the involvement of police in such investigations also poses a great risk to their mental health.
The police are not experts in handling dead bodies. Yeah. And therefore they get traumatized a lot because they're not trained on these things. It is the pathologists, the forensic experts, who are trained and prepared properly, even psychologically, to handle some of these horrendous scenes.
Various human rights groups in the country have raised concerns on the hundreds of deaths and disappearance cases which remain unsolved in the country.
Zile mwili ziko pale hazijahifadhiwa vizuri. So in another maybe a couple of weeks zitakuwa buried in an unmarked grave. So why can't the government move fast to get those people, unless it's the government killing them?
Do we want a government like that? Have we become a government that does not respect human life and human dignity?
According to a report released by IMLU early this month, 198 cases of extrajudicial killings have been reported, with 156 of the cases perpetrated by the Kenya Police Service. 134 of the victims are male, while 34 are female. 42.4% of the cases are as a result of cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment or punishment, while 12.6% are as a result of torture, and more than 15% of the cases are from enforced disappearances.
We need post-mortem examinations on all those bodies to identify the cause of death. And that will be the beginning of the path for justice and accountability.
The implementation of the Coroner Service Act has not happened in part because Kenya has not had a cabinet secretary in charge of justice after the High Court ruled on the 23rd of January 2017 that the Attorney General, who had acted in that role since 2013 on the basis of Executive Order Number 2 of 2013, had done so illegally and unconstitutionally.
Allocating the justice portfolio to a minister just requires a presidential order. And we have seen the president reallocate duties. If justice was a key priority of this government, we would have had a Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, because justice is critical. Justice, accountability are critical to our democracy.
Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.